Hello, my people. Now, good morning. Welcome to Expressive Tone TV. What is trending right now? This NLC matter and federal government plus TUC. Una know say the matter don't wear jacket too. He wear three-piece suit right now. You know say this country so our government then they very insensitive to us. They no want make the ordinary man make he live small enjoyment life. Now only their own na im they know. Right now we don't hear say the NLC they suspend the strike because dem be talk say after 5 working days if dem no give dem wetin dem want the strike go continue. But right now dem come say dem no go fit down to so as long as say negotiation dey on, because dem don try to force the people to negotiation table because dem no wan negotiate. If we really say make we look am, e no good make dem just bring the country down like that. Na money we still dey lose, na suffer the suffer still dey increase. So na im dey say no. So now the government don agree say dem go negotiate. The TUC, the NLC, the private sector dem don agree for 62,000. They agree for 62,000, but NLC say no. Na 250,000 na im dey want. So right now they don carry the matter comot for their table, carry go meet Baba Tinubu and the legislature. Now Tinubu now go recommend am to the legislature, to House of Senate, say okay, na like this na im go fit pay o. When Tinubu suggest am come, then the House of Senate go come pass am into bill. They go start to dey pay the money wey they say they go pay. Now where the matter dey na im be that. So we never know. Do NLC say they no go even collect 100,000 o? NLC say they no go collect 100,000. The margin e dey big, but we never know wetin Baba go do. So na that level na we dey. Now I say make I bring come give una o, make we know wetin dey happen right now. Abeg I go leave una as una dey watch the video where they speak with the people that concerns. I go see you for my next video. If you never subscribe to my channel, abeg do, so that every information you go dey get. No talk say e no concern you. E concern you, because at the end of the day, anything when e dey happen for your environment, you are involved, whether directly or indirectly. You go dey involved. That is why e good for you to know, make you understand wetin dey happen, so that people no go dey tell you lie, dey talk for street say oh na like this na im happen, na like that na im dey happen, whereas no be so. You go dey get first-hand information for this channel. I go see you for my next video as you watch these videos. Cheers.
Thanks for staying with us, everyone. Organized Labour says it will not accept 62,000 naira or even 100,000 naira as the minimum wage for workers. Assistant General Secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Chris Onyeka, says the union will not negotiate a starvation wage. On 4th of June, the NLC and TUC relaxed their nationwide strike for 1 week. The labor unions had embarked on the strike after negotiations with the federal government on a new minimum wage hit a brick wall. What's happening right now? What should Nigerians expect? Nuhu Toro is General Secretary of the Trade Union Congress. Comrade, thank you for joining us again on the program.
Good evening, our viewers, and thank you for having me.
We hear that President Tinubu and the National Assembly are now to determine the next action for labor. What does that mean?
Well, what that simply means is the fact that the proposal has been sent to Mr. President. The proposal of 62,000 by the government and private sector, while the proposal of 250,000 from the organized labor have been sent to Mr. President. Now, the next line of action will be that Mr. President, in his wisdom, will transmit the communication to the Parliament, conveying what he thinks Nigerian workers should be paid. And afterwards, the Parliament will now have public hearing to get people's opinion before the bill becomes an act. So right now, the organized labor have 2 layers left, 2 layers of struggle. That is with Mr. President and the National Assembly. And we are very hopeful, and we know the president, as the father of the nation, knows that there is high cost of living in the land, and there is hunger in the land. And the president is also cautious of the fact that the most valuable resources are the working people. And I am sure, we are very optimistic that the president will ensure that he gives Nigerian workers a wage that should be able to take them home.
So when you say Mr. President would decide, are you saying that he can still bypass the decision of the tripartite committee and come up with a higher figure?
Of course, Mr. President has a prerogative to increase it and pay our 250,000. Is at his prerogative. He can do that. Preceding, don't forget, it's Mr. President that transmits the communication to the National Assembly. So Mr. President can, in his wisdom, accept the 250,000 minimum wage we have proposed and transmit same to the National Assembly.
But is Labour still following its 7-day ultimatum while it's waiting for Mr. President?
Yeah, of course. We know that it might not even get to that at the end of the day, considering the expedited way we've been able to get government to sit up and do the needful. We are very hopeful that within a reasonable time, the president will ensure that the bill gets to the National Assembly, and in no distant time, we know very well that Nigerian workers will have new national minimum wage.
In short, you're saying Nigerians have nothing to worry about as regards a resumption of the nationwide strike where this week is concerned?
Yeah, I'm very optimistic that the president will do the needful. And if that happens, of course, why should we go on strike? Don't forget, a strike is a means to an end. It's not an end in itself. Invariably, why we go on strike is to compel government or employers of labor to sit down and negotiate. Now that we've negotiated, we have proposals. I mean, you don't down tool while you are negotiating. So we are waiting, we are hopeful, and we know at the end of the day, I mean, something good will come out for Nigerian workers.
Mr. Toro, what do you make of governor's concern on ability to pay the new minimum wage? Prior to the decision on 62,000 naira, there was a press release from the Nigeria Governors Forum saying it even disagrees with the federal government's decision to pay 60,000 naira.
Well, the governors, in my opinion, are being smart by half. We know that their federal allocation has increased astronomically. We also know that if they cut down on wasteful spending, they will have the ability to pay. So, and again, this time around, we are also going to come up with new strategies of ensuring that states comply with new national minimum wage. For instance, if Bauchi State is reneging from paying new national minimum wage after it has been passed to law, we'll mobilize all our membership. We'll go to Bauchi State and be in Bauchi State until the Bauchi State government pays. Because we have come to the realization that over time, I mean, when we generalize and call for a nationwide strike, of course, states that are faithful and are paying workers decent wage becomes cross the bridge. But we are very optimistic. If states cut down on their wage spending, believe you me, we know they have enormous resources to pay workers decent wages.
Well, what they are saying is that if they have to pay 60,000 naira, that means they will have to use the entirety of their federal allocation, and that it will also adversely affect others who are not, within the labor union. There's also the concerns about laying off staff and what have you. But how are you reacting to thoughts? Some have said there is need to decentralize the minimum wage at the subnational level, considering the reality that even as we speak, some state governments did not pay the previous 30,000 naira that was passed into law.
Well, your argument, in my opinion, becomes debatable because the concept of minimum wage is to set a floor, a ceiling that no employer of labor should go beyond. What do I mean? For instance, we know that the cost of living in Lagos is different from the cost of living in Yobe, for instance. So if at the end of the day we agree on 250,000, for instance, we don't expect the worker in Lagos to be paid 250,000 because the cost of living in Lagos is higher than the cost of living in Yobe. But the wisdom behind the minimum wage is to protect vulnerable workers so that it's a fixed thing that employers of labor and government should not go below. By pegging it, you protect workers that are vulnerable. But that does not mean states like Lagos, Port Harcourt, Delta should pay 250. So we expect them to pay more. And history has shown that in the past, it has happened like that. So this time around, we are also expecting the same kind of goodwill to be extended to the workers in Lagos and those other states I've enumerated, because what a worker requires in Abuja might be different from what a worker in Benue or Adamawa or Yobe requires to survive within a space of 1 month.
Secretary General Trade Union Congress, fingers crossed to hear from Mr. President and how your union will react. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
That's our show today, everyone. You can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.